Hello, everybody. Today's talk is on Pomodoro. Everybody here is a developer. They're super familiar with Agile. Agile is a very convenient way to organize engineering level tasks and schedule them so that you can deliver value to the business. In the creative and authorship, in the creative and writer worlds, they use another technique to deliver value, and that's called Pomodoro. Pomodoro has a lot of really big advantages. One big one is it's just you doing your own thing. It has a bunch of advantages, one of which is you can reduce your procrastination quite a bit. You only work in 20-minute segments, therefore, even if your task is horrible, you can deal with it for 20 minutes. You can focus on a single topic so that even if you have multiple things going on at once, you can just focus on a single topic for 20 minutes and then put it aside and then create some value in another topic. Pomodoro is very useful in general to help you get into the flow state. If you have a high state of focus for 20 minutes, pretty commonly what happens is people get excited and then they're like, oh, this is fantastic. And then they just kind of continue for another hour or two on their project. Whereas if you have a tricky project, then it can be hard to get into the flow state because it's so horrible. With Pomodoro, you estimate how long each task is going to take. Since each slice is like just 20 minutes long, you think, hey, this is only going to take 20 minutes, and then it takes 40 minutes. You now have valuable data. You're basically building your estimation skills really quickly, as opposed to Agile, where it takes 2 weeks. And lastly, with Pomodoro, you take a look at all your tasks for the day, and you can figure out which ones actually give business value as opposed to just busy work. So Pomodoro Easy Mode is actually incredibly easy. You pick a task, you work on it for 20 minutes, and then you chill out for 5 minutes, and then you do it again. This has the advantage that you can just focus on one and only one task and actually get it done, or a chunk of it done. You don't have to focus on that thing for 5 minutes. You can take a break. In real Pomodoro, what happens is in the beginning of the day, you say, okay, here's the 12 tasks I want to work on. And for each one of them, I estimate, this one's going to take 1 cycle, this one's going to take 4 cycles. And then during the day, you just do these 25-minute cycles. You work for 20 minutes, chill out for 5 minutes, check off that task. Work for 20 minutes, chill out for 5 minutes, check off that task. The big advantage of doing things this way, where you have a list of tasks on the day, is you can figure out which of them actually have business value and then do those first, as opposed to, oh, I've got 12 tasks, make them go in order, and then you realize that a lot of them are just busy work. This system looks really similar to, you guys are very familiar with the stuff on the left. On the right is your Pomodoro 20-minute cycle plus doing some organization on the day. In Agile, you're basically doing exactly the same thing. In Agile, you say you communicate to the team in the morning saying, hey, I'm going to work on this. Hey, I'm having some problems on that. And you basically work on one task all day. Every 2 weeks, you have a meeting where you're like, okay, the business wants these 15 things done. So let's divvy up who does what. And at the end of the 2-week cycle, you do a review saying, okay, these things worked, these things didn't. So you can tell that Agile on the left and Pomodoro on the right is almost identical. In both cases, you're doing some work quickly and then organizing it at a separate length of time. Pomodoro and Agile can work together really well. In addition to the advantages I mentioned before, if you're able to use Pomodoro to get into the flow state, you can just stay in the flow state and you don't need to do Pomodoro anymore. And this is actually used by real people. If you're Pomodoro and you estimate your tasks, you're like, okay, this will take 1, this will take 2 cycles. You basically build an estimation muscle, and you're getting a very fast feedback on, I thought this was going to take 20 minutes, it actually took 40. You're getting that feedback very quickly, whereas in Agile, you don't really get that until about 2-week cycles. Lastly, one big benefit of Pomodoro with Agile is you get real data. You get to rapidly capture real data on how long real tasks take. And since each chunk is just 20 minutes long, you get very fast feedback. In Agile, you're going to work on, let's say, 3 projects over the 2-week period, and you kind of flip before them, and you don't necessarily get concrete feedback at the end of how long exactly everything took. Whereas Pomodoro, you're chewing away in these 20-minute segments on on your tasks. So you get very high resolution data. And of course, the estimation muscle that you build up for Pomodoro can just be reused directly for Agile. So using these things together is a tremendous benefit. This has been Pomodoro as Agile. My name is John Tells All. This bit.ly link is to another version of this talk, and it has a bunch of resources for you. There's tons of things available. Thank you very much.